Let's talk about the yellow cross, which is step 3A in CFBLL. Hey folks, welcome to the Pug Solves Cubes channel. I'm Pugs, a very mid-speed cuber, with an average solve time around 35 seconds. I don't compete, I don't turn that fast, I'm not trying to set any records or even get all that much faster. I just love solving the cube as quickly as I can. This step, beginner last layer, is where CFBLL deviates from CFOP. We did cross on bottom, like CFOP. We did F2L, like CFOP. But here, CFOP would go into orientation of the last layer, and then permutation of the last layer as steps 3 and 4. In CFBLL, instead, we perform beginner last layer as the final step. And you might be thinking, great, that's only one step instead of 2. And I'm sorry to disappoint you, but this last step is actually a grouping of 4 possible steps. Sometimes we'll get lucky on a solve and be able to skip 1 or 2 of these steps. But yeah, there's 4 possible steps. And those steps are yellow cross on top, if needed, edge swap, if needed, corner cycle, if needed, and corner turn, if needed. This episode covers step 3A, the yellow cross on top. Okay, we've just finished step 2, intuitive F2L, and all we have left to solve is the top layer. The bottom layer is solved. You can see that it's all white on the bottom and the colors are solved all the way around the cube. Same with the middle layer. The middle layer is also solved all the way around the cube. All we have left is this top layer. To solve this layer, we begin by creating a yellow cross on top. And to do this, we're only going to need the sexy move algorithm to create that yellow cross. Note, I'm left-handed, and therefore I tend to use the left-handed versions of these algorithms, but I will demonstrate both left-handed and right-handed. I demonstrate the left-handed algorithms because I've yet to find a channel that specifically shows left-handed solving, so I want to show that, but I know that most of you are right-handed, so I will show that also. Okay, for step 3A, the yellow cross with the bottom and middle layers solved, the top layer will show us one of 4 shapes. It'll show us either a yellow cross already done, or it will show us a yellow bar, and we're ignoring any tiles that are not part of the shape that we're looking for. So yellow bar, or it will show us a yellow L, or it will show us a yellow dot. And again, we're ignoring any tiles that are not part of the shape we're looking for. So there's a yellow dot. If the yellow cross is already done, congratulations, you can skip to step 3B, the edge swap, which will be the next video. For the rest of these scenarios, we will need the sexy move algorithm, as I mentioned earlier. And that algorithm goes like this. It goes R, U, R prime, U prime. We'll do that again. R, U, R prime, U prime. In the left hand, the sexy move algorithm goes L prime, U prime, L, U. One more time. L prime, U prime, L, U. I recommend practicing this and start baking it into your motor memory. If you have a yellow bar, you can make the yellow cross by orienting the bar horizontally. So if it's vertical, orient it horizontally. Then you're going to do a setup move. You're going to do that sexy move algorithm. And then you're going to undo the setup move. So if you're right-handed, that looks like this. Horizontal orientation. The setup move is an F move. And then you're going to do the right-handed sexy move. So R, U, R prime, U prime. And then you're going to undo that setup move with an F prime. And here we have our yellow cross. If you're left-handed, so if you're left-handed, that looks like this. Horizontal orientation, if it isn't already. Setup move is going to be an F prime. And then the left-handed sexy move is L prime, U prime, L, U. And then you undo that setup move and we have our yellow cross. And again, we're ignoring any tiles that aren't part of the shape. If you have a yellow L, you're going to orient the L either to the upper right-hand corner or to the upper left-hand corner. But you're going to orient the L, you're going to perform a setup move, and then you're going to perform 2 sexy move algorithms, and then you'll undo the setup move. So if you're right-handed, it looks like this. You orient the L so that it is in the upper left-hand corner, so that the arms of the L are pointing away from you and to the left. And then you're going to do the same setup move, which is an F. And then you're going to do the right-handed sexy move 2 times. So that goes R, U, R prime, U prime. And you'll notice you get a bar. You do it a second time. R, U, R prime, U prime. And then when you undo that setup move, you have the yellow cross. Again, ignoring any tiles that are not part of the shape that we're looking for. Okay, if you're left-handed, let's get back to an L. So we're ignoring any tiles that aren't part of the shape. So we still have this L here, right? So if you're left-handed, we're going to orient the L so that the L is in the upper right-hand corner. So the arms of the L are facing away from you and to the right. We're going to do our setup move, which is an F prime. And then we're going to do 2 left-handed sexy moves. So L prime, U prime, L, U. Note we get a bar. And L prime, U prime, L, U. And when we undo the setup move, we have our cross again, ignoring the tiles that aren't part of the shape. If you have a yellow dot, the process is a little bit different. Instead of solving directly to the yellow cross, we are going to solve to a yellow L or a yellow bar, and then from there solve to the yellow cross as we just showed you in the previous 2 sections of the video. So to do this, to get to a yellow L or a yellow bar from the dot, you're going to do a setup move and then 1 sexy move algorithm and then undo the setup move to a yellow L. To get to the yellow bar, you would do a setup move, 2 sexy move algorithms, and then undo the setup, and that'll give you a yellow bar. It doesn't matter which one you solve to, whether you're solving to the L or to the bar, completely up to you. Personally, I prefer to solve to the bar, but it's absolutely up to you. So if you're right-handed, that looks like this. You're going to do an F setup move, and then you're going to do the right-handed sexy move, which is R, U, R prime, U prime. When you undo the undo the setup move, you have a yellow L, and you would solve to the yellow cross from here. If instead you had wanted to solve to the yellow bar, you would do that same setup move, the F, then you would do two right-handed sexy move algorithms. So R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, and you can see that we get to the bar. We're ignoring any tiles that aren't part of the shape we're looking for. If you're left-handed, so here we have the dot, just the dot. If you're left-handed, the setup move is an F prime, and then you're going to do a U prime, L prime, U prime, L, U, undo the setup move, and that'll get you to the yellow L. If instead you wanted to solve to the yellow bar, you would do that F prime setup move, and then two sexy move algorithms. So L prime, U prime, L, U, L prime, U prime, L, U. When you undo the setup move, we now have the yellow bar. And then from here, whether you're at the bar or at the L, you would solve to the cross from there. Okay, tips. Tip 1. My first tip is to really figure out your finger tricks for the sexy move. Figure out the most efficient way for you to perform the sexy move algorithm, because you want to be consistently performing it the same way every time so that it can become motor memory. So what do I mean by finger tricks? Finger tricks are simply the movements we use to manipulate the cube, right? We want to be consistent with how we do it. So like we turn the top layer with index finger flicks or double flicks. We turn the side layer, the side layers, or we do a double flick to turn the side layers, or the bottom layer. It can be double flicks or single flicks with the ring finger. These are all finger tricks, right? So for me, the sexy move algorithm breaks down like this. And this is how pretty much everybody does it. I'm not doing anything special here. It breaks down like this. I re-grip the cube. So I go from home grip here. I re-grip so my thumb is on the bottom. And then I turn the side layer, whether it's the left side layer or the right side layer, depending on if I'm doing a right-handed or left-handed. So I turn the side layer. I do an index finger flick. I turn that side layer back, and then I do the other index finger flick. And note that I'm not using notation. I'm not using the notation. I'm not saying L prime, U prime, L, U. Instead, I'm saying what my fingers are actually doing. I want this to become a single move, not a series of discrete turns like L prime, U prime, L, U. I want it to be a single thing that I can bake into my motor memory. Sexy move. It's just a single thing that I can do to bake it into my motor memory. Tip 2 is to bake the algorithm into your motor memory by using it as a fidget activity. So once you've figured out your finger tricks, make it a single thing in your motor memory by fidgeting. What I mean by that is that while you watch TV, listen to music, stare at a wall, or whatever, let your hands fidget by practicing the move over and over and over again. If you start with a completed cube, 6 sexy moves will get you back to a completed cube. So do sets of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch hands. Don't focus on going fast. Focus on being smooth, because the smoother you go, the faster it will be. And the goal here is to make it a single movement, not 4 discrete movements, not R, U, R prime, U prime, but to make it a single thing. So sexy move, 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 right? It's just a single thing. It is not discrete turns. Okay, and the final tip, tip 3, is to work on your look ahead. As you are coming out of F2L, as you're doing your final F2L pair, so here we have this green-orange corner piece and this green-orange edge going into this front right slot. That is our final F2L pair. So as your hands are executing that final pair, your eyes and brain should focus on the top layer to predict what shape we're going to have so that you can flow right into your yellow cross solution without pause. So for instance, we have our final F2L pair. So as we're executing on that final F2L pair, we see that we're going to have a yellow bar, right? So as soon as I am done inserting that final F2L pair, I can flow directly into my yellow cross solution without pause. This is far easier said than done, but if you practice doing your last F2L pair slowly, like I did just demonstrated, you'll get better and better at spotting what pre-cross shape you will have. And that's all I got for you folks. Hopefully some of this helped. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell for more content like this. Until the next video, happy cubing y'all.